Let's not lose sight that the strategy is a response to the need of implementing consistent learning strategies with the aforementioned flexible teaching model, which demands the analysis and rethinking of the theoretical and operational support to the educational work in the UPAE, which makes clear the necessity for change toward an approach to the interdisciplinary work as a product of a flexible organization which obeys an integrated approach to improve the quality of the academic work and that follows an integration education on learning forms and methods of thought and research, thus to generate in students the ability to self-learning and interdisciplinary work. Learning experiences should be designed considering the context that influence the decisions on the specific problem and that produce scenarios that help learning. The implementation of learning strategies to facilitate negotiation of meaning then requires of a conscientious of deliberated exercise of designing scenarios for such interactions. In these scenarios is demonstrated the Vygotskian principle of the proximal development zone. The work of designing experiences falls on the teacher, responsible for the multilinked learning in such a way that the individual's potential is encouraged through the relationship with others. As we can see, the diversity in the development of the members promotes learning. To illustrate the operation of multilinked teams such as learning strategy, we begin with a specific positioning problem which leads to the approach of an applied research project that serves as a framework to generate an integrated graphic communication systems and for the approaching of the multilinked teamwork. The positioning is constructed from a set of contacts to communicate with users who assign hierarchical values of a brand within a category, in which they can share a mental space with other brands. The articulation of each one of the messages strengthens the position that the brand occupies in the user's categorical scheme. For this reason, when an opportunity to be involved in design of a strategy that favors the strategic positioning in the minds of consumers is identified, become clear the necessity to integrate more than one cognitive profile. In this case, the approach was made through the link between graphic design and marketing in a shared field, semiotics, and the core of the professional activity of both areas, the user. This way, after defining semiotic marketing applied to the design of persuasive discourse as a theoretical approach, we proceed to plan the learning experience of multilinked teams. However, the design of integrated marketing communication systems implies a new way of looking the whole world before there were only parts of the speech. It is about realigning communications to be seen as a client, as a stream of information that integrates only the issue of the speech. This kind of design requires intervention of several disciplines for proper production, implementation, and evaluation of the positioning. And that is the reason why a particular problem to be solved by this means was chosen. Considering graphic design as an orchestrator access, the project will derive in an integrated graphic communication system based on the knowledge of identity features and the style of an organization, and requires to define the target audiences to recognize the insertion and micro-marketing, and provides the articulation of the speech delivered through visual channels that consolidate the perception of the attributes in question. Graphic design is a communication technique which requires relating with other disciplines that provide the necessary information for the user-centered design process. A design process has three fundamental moments in the solution of problems: the analytical, the strategic, and the executive stages. It is in the analytical stage where research is particularly important to achieve the communicative intention pursued when designing all the controversial situations. Now, to access the inner world of the audience, the semiotic marketing offers highly effective tools. Semiotics has been applied as a tool to analyze the process of significance in different areas, and gains a higher importance in the field of business, from which it begins to evaluate their potential for innovation in the areas of the consumer behavioral phenomena, marketing and advertising. This exploratory mode of intervention, that is not in the verification of the phenomena of communication, but the ability to generate marketing, is called semiotic marketing or semiomarketing. Multilinked work is planned around a specific design problem and guided by the design process. In this case, the team was composed as follows: a graphic design professor who plays the role of orchestrator, coordinates the team, and sets the conditions for integration of the talents in a common effort. 3 students of master's degree in management and marketing from different areas of undergraduate training, in this case an economist, a publicist, and a professional of international trade. A specialized professor in graphic design, semiotics, marketing, and statistics. Undergraduate students in graphic design and marketing. The project was developed over a period of 12 months in which the applied research to solve a particular problem were synchronized with the school calendar periods of spring, autumn, and summer, allowing the exercise to incorporate a significant number of participants. The project was divided into stages, and the assessment of participants was made based on rubrics that enabled it to ponder the performance of each part of the process and the scopes in terms of generic and specific competences that were defined for this project. One result of this learning experience was the realization of the importance of combining multilinked teams to develop inter-academic projects, as in this case of participation of the Academies of Graphic Design and Marketing for the proposal of a redesign of the curriculum for a degree in graphic design, in which expert professors should engage in each area, both full-time and part-time, and where it could be accepted the voices of students, alumni, applicants, and contractors. Participants in this project responded well to the activities plans for the operation of the learning experience. Through a qualitative assessment, it was observed that the applicants achieved significant progress in the understanding of the professional activity of different areas, gave importance to the negotiation through knowledge of their own disciplinary codes that during the process are learned and shared, and allowed the dialogue and negotiation. Also, an empathetic attitude and active listening were promoted, and finally, spaces for argument and decision-making were generated. The logic of multilinked work learned in the classroom can be transferred to the professional exercise to organize production processes in the employment context. Each participant in a multi-linked team will contribute from their cognitive level to the process of solving problems and will bring into play their proximal development zone through sharing the experience with other participants. For the design of learning experiences, it is necessary to consider a specific problem in context that requires the intervention of more than one subject area for its solution. In the case above, the linkage between semiotics, marketing, and graphic design is the user. The results from this learning experience were recorded and submitted to related academies, and this exercise highlighted the necessity to establish an inter-academic working link to develop a combined project. This learning strategy needs to be tested in other fields of knowledge. However, it forces the ability to transfer to other areas of disciplinary training.